So, what would I like to talk about? I would like to talk about change. For those who say people don't change, bullshit. Now, that's just my perception. Everybody has their own perception. Everybody has beliefs, believes in something, doesn't believe in something. But from actual observation and experience, I can literally call bullshit. First off, everything, everything changes. It's a constant, you know? We learn that. In school, we learned that energy, energy cannot be destroyed. It can be transformed. What does transform mean? In layman's terms, it means changed. That's just from observation of nature, of planet Earth, you know. Now, people. Well, we are part of the greater whole. We are a part of the universe. We are a part of the galaxy. We are a part of the planet. I mean, you can go as little or as big as you want to, but we play a role in everything somehow. And if everything else around us is changing, how can humans not change? We get great opportunities to change when we reincarnate if we choose to reincarnate. But why do we have to wait to pass on from one lifetime and incarnate into another just to seek out or live a life of change or show change or growth? It can happen in the very same lifetime that you are in right now. What if in a past lifetime you went through significant change as well? Evolution. Evolution, right? So I got a little fired up because of something that happened earlier today with a friend. And, one of the themes is change. I'm aware that we all change. I'm aware that we we have the opportunity to grow. Not everybody takes the opportunity to grow, to evolve. But most of the time we do change in some way. We can allow things that occur that happen to us to change us. Sometimes some really shitty stuff happens and it can change our outlook on life. Maybe we become depressed or pessimistic or sad for a while. Sometimes we actually allow these shitty things to harden our hearts. That's change, is it not? Do you think that you came into the world as a baby with a hardened heart, pessimistic? It could be true. There are some babies, there are souls that come in that maybe do have some stuff that they're bringing from another lifetime into this lifetime. But just in general, I'm saying, right, from our observations of babies, if you've ever been around a baby, if you've ever had a baby, you notice and you see this beautiful innocence with these souls that just arrive, okay? There's this innocence, there's this childlike freedom and happiness and joy and awe as the soul is taking in everything as if everything's new, usually, right? um so yeah, that's one way we can change. We can change when we allow, and I do say if we allow, because maybe you might get mad by me saying that, but bottom line is that yes, we still make that choice to allow ourselves. We make that choice to become hard. We make that choice to be cold. We make that choice to go down the deep end. And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, right? It's part of experience. It's something you are experiencing. You can take the label bad or good off of it. It's just it's an experience. But bottom line is it's a choice. And I'm getting a call. So like I was saying, that's a choice, right? And I've definitely been in very dark places. I've definitely been extremely sad, depressed, frustrated, all of these things. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from a place of judgment. I just know that sometimes things got so hectic for me that, you know, I went there. But it's all still part of choice. Sometimes things get real shitty, or sometimes they're kind of shitty, whatever. Like, no matter what happens, I have the awareness that I can observe what's going on, and choose how I want to respond to the situation. Choose what I would like to feel. If I feel like I need to allow myself to feel something, then I allow myself to feel it. And then I give myself some time to have that experience, and then I say, all right, now Trina, we're going to do this, this, and this. All right, Trina, you allowed yourself to feel pissed off. Now, go take a walk in nature, go take a bubble bath, listen to your mantras. I have a bunch of things that I now know help me to center, to let go and release and come back, into my center, to ground myself, to bring myself to my heart, and to get out of my mind, to stop the crazy thinking, and the crazy thinking that can result in a spiral, right? And then you have the type of change where a person, just like you have someone who can go downward in the spiral, we can go upward. There's change where we can cultivate better habits, better thinking habits, our mind start to take control of how we think. We can pay more attention and take control and choose what we focus on, what thoughts we focus on, which emotions we focus on, what we choose to focus on in our lives. If we choose to focus on toxic realities, toxic people, toxic situations, or if we choose to focus on inspirational realities, people, environments, if we choose to focus on love, if we choose to focus on abundance. You see what I'm saying? And so with that said, people can change in that way as well and seem to become a better person. And yet again, I speak from experience because, growing up, there were so many experiences that I had. And so on top of being uh, Sun Pisces, Moon is in Leo, um, you know, I have always felt emotions strongly. I feel very strongly. And so I was pretty moody. Anybody who knows me from when I was younger, especially like, middle school, high school, I was pretty moody. And, like I said, there's some reasons why I was moody. The input from the cosmic alignments when I incarnated. And then there were environmental factors. There were factors within my family, within the environment I was growing up in, that contributed to my moodiness. But before the moodiness, before that phase, I actually was a very positive, bubbly kid. Loved nature and loved being around friends, and yeah, just very positive. And it really hurt my feelings when I saw people being mean to one another, name calling, making fun of other people, you know, based on physical appearance or money or whatever. And then, you know, around 10 years old, my health got pretty bad when we moved, and a lot of reasons for that. And then my doctor decided to put me on an anti-inflammatory, a steroid called prednisone. So that was also what contributed to my moodiness, because it altered my chemistry within my body drastically, the hormones and everything, and I began to go through puberty sooner and faster, and you know, just a bunch of other stuff. And so that contributed to the moodiness. So there you have me changing, going from someone being positive to now pretty aggressive and moody, and expressing anger and frustration and sadness a lot of the times. I had never shown much aggression and anger like that before. Then on into high school, I was very defensive. I had a lot going on. I mentioned in one of my other videos how my parents had divorced and stuff. So just things that occurred in my life contributed to me choosing to feel a certain way. Now, at the time when I was feeling this way, I didn't realize that I had control. I didn't fully have the awareness, and I also didn't have anyone around me to aid me through the life experiences I was having. I didn't have a mentor, anybody, or even family around. You know, my parents were stuck in their own drama and bullshit. So it's like I had, you know, I mean, I had some friends, but um, it's not like one person stood out, and or an adult to kind of guide me through. So I did it on my own, you know, and was really seeking my spirituality. I had always been a very spiritual person, even since being a kid. And so it was at some point in my high school career, and then right when I began to go to university, when I started to have a lot of realizations and um, reflection on my mind, the heart, and awareness, and things like that. And I began to make choices, just different choices, and challenged myself, and allowed myself to be around different people, allowed myself to be vulnerable, and with that, I appeared to change. From a personal perspective, I wasn't really changing. In a sense, I was changing, right? But from reflection, introspection, and continued experiences, my own experiences and observations, you know, what I've come to realize is it's not really change. Because I've had many people tell me, I've had quite a few people tell me who knew me back then, you know, in the now moment, at the present moment. If anybody runs into me, I've had people later on, me as an adult, they come to me and say, wow, you are so different. You are like completely different from high school, or, what happened, or how did you do it? And the truth is that this is who I really am. So really what was happening is I was just becoming more and more myself. I was going further and further in to become more and more in tune with my essence, with who I am, who I really am, my soul, and my heart. Experiences don't define me. Experiences do not define you. But they definitely teach you things, and it allows you to have the opportunity, like I said, to feel things, to learn things, whether it's something that you perceive as good or bad, whether the situation brings joy and euphoria, positivity, happiness, laughter, or whether it brings you sadness, grief, depression, anger, frustration, jealousy, these different emotions. At the end of the day, they were all experiences. But it doesn't mean that these experiences are you. So that brings me back around to the beginning when I said that people don't change or can't change, and I said bullshit. Because what I'm trying to get at is that so many people have this idea and have the belief that nobody can change. If someone has a personality trait or certain habits, and yes, habits are hard to break, they really are, but it has to do with the mind. It's all about the mind. Do not let the mind control you. Be the master. Be the master. Master the mind. People have beliefs that a person cannot change, that they cannot better themselves. In general, that's just not true. A person has the opportunity to. A person can. And really what's occurring is they are searching really for who they are. They want to be a better person. We can truly become better people, which really we're just working more and more and more towards who we really are. Who and what we really are. Now, I do want to go out on a limb and talk about, or at least just mention that there are some certain circumstances where a person may find it very difficult or challenging to make changes in life, to go within and discover, rediscover, and remember who they are. And that is because of trauma. And many of us have gone through trauma, and we can still do a lot of the work to get to who we are, our core self, our true self. But some people have been traumatized in horrific ways, some extreme trauma, that mental illness has occurred, where a person has become sick in the mind, where there is a disconnect. Things happen within the brain. Chemicals and things going on within the brain. A lot of activity, things going on with neurological pathways. And that's where, you have people who are trained. They're trained in psychology, they're trained in certain fields to help a person work through the trauma or find a way to still live life and function and work through feelings or understand feelings. It really just depends on the person's situation and what they've been diagnosed with. And I can't really speak on that. I just know that because of trauma, some people may not be able to change right away. It might take much more effort, much more work. And sometimes a person feels like they are unable to make some changes or to, peel off the layers, because that's really what's going on. We're peeling off the layers of bullshit that's accumulated from incarnation and reincarnation and from things that have occurred from in the families that we've incarnated into, the environments, the society, everything, all this brainwashing and programming, all this bullshit that's not you. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? I just got a little fired up because I just kind of felt it there, this whole thing about you've changed or you're different from when you were in your 20s, you're different from when you were in high school. Well, fuck, I hope I'm different. I really do. I really hope that people notice a difference in me, because I would very much dislike to still be the same as I was when I was 10, when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 22, 25, 29. I'd dislike to be the same that I was last year, because we're all growing and continuing to expand and continuing to remember, continuing to become more and more and more in tune with our true selves, who we really are. And that's my aim, to be true to myself, to be true to my soul, to be true to what feels right. So, people who say you're different, you're acting different, or whatever, just kind of, just lightly, just let it breeze by, because I know what's going on with me. You know what's going on with you. If you focus on yourself, if you focus on your self growth, if you focus on your personal development, on your soul evolution, then you know what's going on. You know what you've been feeling. You know what you've been healing. You know what you've been releasing. You know what you have been rewriting. You know what you have been tuning into. You know what you are doing. Sometimes we really don't know what we're doing, when we get so caught up. But you know what I mean. You know what you're doing. We know what we're doing. We know we want to be on the path of our soul. We know we are on this dedicated path of authenticity, of healing, transmutation, transformation. Especially you light workers, right? As light workers, starseeds, those of us who've come incarnated to help with the ascension and the healing on the planet. We have gone through so many transformations. I mean, I don't know about you, but I had some stuff happen earlier in my life where it took me some time to remember who I am. It took me some time to remember why I came here. And I spoke about that in my previous video on trauma and sexual abuse and stuff, that it can take longer if one experiences trauma, and that's the case for many of us. So, I mean, if people from our past don't seem to recognize us, or maybe aren't vibing with us, it's, we had characteristics or habits or whatever it was at that point in time where we resonated with them. And at this point in time, things are a little different. Sorry, I'm taking a stretch. My shoulders are very tight. Oh. Things are changing, but becoming more and more and more in alignment. That's a good word. That's the word maybe I was shooting for and kept saying tuned into. I mean, it's all the same in my world. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna get off here and go do some stretches because my upper back is killing me. I pray this resonated with those it's meant to. As always, as always, as always. And I'm sending out my encouragement and love for you on your journey. It can get a little emotional, and you might feel a little confused if you have people from your past or friends or family or whoever come up to you and kind of like question you and challenge you about your lifestyle now and who you are and your personality. Trust me, I've been there. Don't let it shake you. How can you let what one person says, their opinions, their perception, their perspective, shake the very foundation of what you have been building for a while, the path that you have been walking? If anything, it's an opportunity to reflect and to see what truly resonates and what doesn't. If there's anything that you do need to look at and tweak, or maybe you need to let something go, or maybe you do need to take a harder look at something, whatever the case may be, let it be an opportunity to reflect and to feel, but don't allow it to freak you out and then confuse you and doubt yourself and your journey and your work and your mission. So Heshina ki mani aami kanae. Holy yamana e ya hey yawe 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 yawe. Whew. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace, peace be unto you. Namaste. Mitakoe oyasin. Aloha nui.
Atma, Namaste. Everyone, I am super excited to share my Patreon page. It will be launching soon, and if you do not know what Patreon is, I am more than happy to explain it to you. I will be providing links below. Also, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me questions. But I am very intrigued to know who will be interested in joining my community. So please reach out, let me know if you will be interested in joining my Patreon community. You can reach me on Facebook, send me a message, you can comment below in any of my videos, you can even personally email me. My email is trina@acosmopolite.com. You can also find my email in the About section on my YouTube channel. Thank you, beautiful souls. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.